For 22 years, Mama Efe cooked in the back kitchen of a small roadside buka in Ibadan called Obinrin's Pot. It wasn't the biggest place, but people from all walks of life, Okada riders, teachers, bankers, and even university students, came there for food. Her jollof rice was famous. Her akara was always crispy. But no one knew her real secret. Every afternoon, behind the back wall of the buka, she left a plate of food beside a small green bucket. It was never spoken of. No announcement, no reward, just one quiet act repeated every single day. The food was always for Taju, a skinny, silent boy with eyes too sad for his age. When Mama Efe first saw him, he was crouched beside the gutter behind her bucka, trying to catch drops of water in an old yogurt container. He didn't beg, he didn't speak, he just waited, like a shadow. She started by giving him leftover moi moi. The next day, she packed a little jollof rice and added a spoon of stew. Then came a boiled egg. Then water in a cold sachet. She didn't ask him anything. She didn't even know his name for the first 6 months. But she always left something. And every time the plate would be gone, washed clean and placed back near the bucket. "Why are you wasting food on street boys?" her co-worker, Ngozi, once asked. "It's not waste," Mama Efe replied. "He's a child like any other. He deserves to eat." At home, Mama Efe lived alone in a small one-room apartment in Bodija. Her husband died years ago in a trailer accident on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. She had no children. The only thing she had left was a wooden photo frame with a faded wedding picture and her love for cooking. Most days, she used part of her own meal portion to feed Taju. She never told the buka owner. On days business was slow and she hadn't eaten all day, she still made sure there was a plate for him. Even when her legs ached from standing too long, or the rain soaked through her wrappers, she never missed a day. Taju, the street boy, said nothing for years. Then one day, when he was about 14, he left a note. Just a short line written on the back of a torn gala wrapper with charcoal. "Thank you, Mama. I will be somebody one day." She kept that paper in her Bible. But one Harmattan morning, Taju stopped coming. Days passed. Then weeks. Mama Efe still left food for a while. Then one day, she stopped. Years passed. Her bones grew tired. The buka was bought by a big company and renamed City Chef Express. They told her, kindly but firmly, that she wasn't fast enough and her ways were old-fashioned. They gave her N15,000 and let her go. She didn't cry. She just picked up her old cooking spoon, tied it in a nylon bag, and walked home. The city moved on. Years passed. Mama Efe now worked in a small canteen inside a school compound at Sango. It wasn't much. Mostly rice and stew, bread and tea for primary school children, but it paid enough for rent and Gary at home. Her back hurt more these days, and her knees complained when she climbed stairs, but her hands never forgot how to season food with care. Sometimes she'd think of the boy, Taju. Where had he gone? Did he eat well now? Was he alive? But she never spoke of him. Not once. Until one Sunday afternoon, something strange happened. She had just finished service at her small white and green church in Oregon. As she stepped out of the building, shielding her eyes from the sun, a sleek black Jeep stopped in front of the church gate. The windows were tinted. A young man in a black kaftan stepped out, tall, neatly dressed. A gold wristwatch peeked from under his sleeve. He looked around, unsure. Then his eyes found her. "Mama? Mama Efe?" he asked. She blinked. "Yes, who are you, my son?" He took a step closer, knelt down and whispered, "Do you remember the boy you used to feed behind Obinrin's pot with the green bucket and plate?" Her heart skipped. Her legs shook slightly. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. "I'm him, Mama. I'm Taju," she gasped. Her hand flew to her chest. The boy she had once fed with her own share of rice and stew now stood before her with a voice deep like radio presenters and the face of a grown man. He looked like someone who had survived storms. "I looked for you, Mama. For years," he said. "When you stopped leaving food, I thought something had happened to you. I tried asking, but nobody knew your name." Tears welled in her eyes, but she held them back. You made it?" Taju nodded. By God's grace. I finished secondary school with help from a church. Later, I won a scholarship from an NGO. I studied mechanical engineering. And last year, I started my own company fixing and selling solar panels. Mama, we install for estates now. Big ones. He took her hand and kissed it gently. You saved me, Mama. Every spoon of rice, every drop of water. You kept me alive when the world forgot me. You gave me more than food. You gave me hope. Mama Efe couldn't speak. The words were stuck in her throat. She felt like the wind had blown all the way through her heart. Later that day, he drove her home in his Jeep. Inside the car, on the dashboard, she saw something carefully framed in glass. The same gala wrapper with her note written in charcoal. I carry it everywhere, he said. That evening, over amala and iwedu at a nearby restaurant, Taju told her more. He had once almost died of typhoid. He had slept in markets, church corridors, and once even in a parked Malue bus. But every time he felt like giving up, he remembered the food. The warmth of that plastic plate. The feeling that somewhere, someone cared. I always said to myself, if I ever make it, the first person I'll thank is Mama Efe. She smiled, tears finally slipping down her wrinkled cheeks. The next week, Taju made a decision that shocked even Mama Efe. He bought the building where Obinrin's pot once stood. And then he invited her to visit. When they got there, her knees buckled. The old bucka had been transformed into a beautiful modern eatery with tiled floors, gentle lighting, and a new name above the front door. Mama Efe's Kitchen, where every plate tells a story. She couldn't believe it. Inside, former street kids were working as waiters, cooks, and cashiers. Kids just like Taju once was. Food is free for any child who can't pay, Taju said. No questions asked, no shame. Just come in and you'll eat. Mama, he said quietly, this is your legacy. It started with you. Within months of its opening, Mama Efe's Kitchen became more than just a restaurant. It became a place of healing. People came not just to eat, but to remember. Some left thank you notes under their plates. Others brought children just to meet Mama Efe. She would sit quietly at the corner table, her gray head tie neatly tied, her hands folded gently on her lap. She didn't like being called a hero. She said, nah, only food I cook. But everyone else knew the truth. One evening, a TV crew from Lagos came. They had heard about a restaurant in Ibadan where no child was turned away, where former street boys now served pepper soup in clean uniforms, where every meal came with a side of dignity. The story went viral across Nigeria. On Twitter, people shared the hashtag Mama Ife fed me. Some remembered passing by her old buka and smelling jollof from the gutter. One man wrote, she once gave me bread and tea during jam registration in 2007. I was so broke I hadn't eaten in 2 days. That tea carried me through the whole day. Donations poured in. A popular Nollywood actress offered to sponsor 5 students from Mama Efe's Kitchen into university. A supermarket chain donated free food supplies for a year. Still, Mama Efe didn't change. Every morning, she was the first to arrive. She would sit with the cooks, touch their heads one by one, and say a quiet prayer before the first pot of rice was opened. Cook it with love, she would say. Somebody hungry is waiting. One day, a government official from Abuja arrived. A man with glasses, a clean kaftan, and the type of voice that fills radio interviews. He sat with Mama Efe and offered her a national award. She refused. I no need award. Use that money to open another kitchen somewhere else. They named her kitchen the model for a new state program to feed vulnerable children. 3 more kitchens were opened, one in Akure, one in Kaduna, one in Onitsha, all under the same name, Mama Efe's Kitchen. But even with all the attention, all the praise, Mama Efe remained quiet. She didn't ask for luxury. She still lived in the same one-room apartment, still used the same aluminum spoon she'd had since 1999. Then one rainy night, she fell sick. Her body, worn from years of giving more than it received, finally asked for rest. At the hospital, children she had once fed lined up outside the ward. One by one, they came with gifts. Soft bread, fruits, cards that said, "Thank you, Mama," or "You kept me alive." Taju never left her side. She smiled weakly and said, "See? Even rain cannot wash away love." In her final days, she whispered one request to Taju: "Don't let the fire go out. Feed them, even when the world forgets them." Mama F.A. passed away quietly at dawn during morning prayers. There was no headline the next day, no loud parade, but in the hearts of thousands, a light had gone out, and at the same time, a flame had been passed on. 1 year later, at Mama Effe's kitchen, a little girl with dusty braids stood behind the building, staring shyly at the back door. Her clothes were torn, her feet bare. She didn't say a word. Inside, a young staff member spotted her. He stepped out, holding a plate of jollof rice, 2 pieces of dodo, and a bottle of water. He placed it gently in her hands. No questions asked, just like Mama used to do. And tucked underneath the plate was a small note, written in simple handwriting. "Eat well, my dear. You matter." This is the end of this story. The moral lesson of this story is one act of kindness, no matter how small, can change the course of someone's life. So never stop doing good, even when no one is watching. Thank you for watching. Please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who needs a little hope today, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. What's one kind thing someone did for you that you've never forgotten?